Hey guys, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I have a gift request with an interesting little side story here, but it's a gift request from David Baumer. So David, thank you for this gift and request. Dustin Sonnier, that's how I would say it. She Can't Break It to My Heart. David had originally requested that I do a duet of Tia Goins and Mark Wills on Country Family Reunion. At the very same time, Fun Ronnie made a gift to the channel for me to react to the entire episode, the hour and 15-minute episode, which included that duet. So I said, you know what? Rather than break up the whole 5-part series that I'm going to do of, Unbroken Circle by Country Family Reunion, I said, David, what else do you have for me? So he said, Dustin Sonnier. And so I'm like, well, I know the name Sonnier, but David said he didn't think I'd reacted to Dustin, and I haven't. I've reacted to Joelle Sonnier, so I don't know if there's a relation here. And also, somebody who followed the channel, Sloan Sonnier, had made a number of requests for me to do other songs, not Sonnier's, but Sonnier is not a name that is unfamiliar to the channel. So let's see what Dustin has for us. Why She Can't Break It to His Heart. Joelle was Cajun.
I tried and tried to ask her just what's been on her mind, but she don't tell me nothing. She always says I'm fine. I know there's something missing. I can feel it when we touch. Her silence makes me wonder what's happened to our love.
Ay, ay, ay.
There's walls and walls between us that were never there before. She can't bring herself to walk out of the door. I guess she knows that getting over her would tear my world apart.
Yeah.
So she keeps it to herself. She just can't break it to my heart.
At some point she will.
She tried and tried to love me like she did at the start. Her mind tells her one thing, it just can't convince her heart.
Oh, this is good writing.
I'm the one her friend said would be her Mr. Right, but that's not what I'm seeing when I look into her eyes.
This is spot on.
Walls and walls between us that were never there before. She can't bring herself to walk out of the door. I guess she knows that getting over her would tear my world apart. So she keeps it to herself. She just can't break it to my heart.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, she knows that getting over her would tear my world apart. So she keeps it to herself. She just can't break it to my heart.
Yeah. See, I said that's the way it should be because you don't want to act on every impulse. We get thoughts, we go through moods, we go through tough times. Sometimes we misattribute why we're feeling a bad way. Something might have happened in our family or at work or somewhere else, or we're just not getting enough sleep, but we attribute it to, in this case, in the song, she might be attributing it to him. And or she might be going through something biologically. Women's biology, as we know, is quite complex. I don't know if it's fair to say it's more complex than men's, but that's what I would say anyway. I haven't studied every medical journal out there, but I'm pretty sure men have complications too, because any carbon-based life form does have its complications, but women have more. And so you don't know necessarily. So that's sort of like a safeguard from acting just impulsively and saying, oh, the last 5 minutes, I'm not feeling so good about you, I'm leaving. Or the last week. There are serious implications to making a decision like leaving a relationship, because you're going to have doubts, you're going to have questions, unless it's obvious, like beating or cheating or something like that. Then you really should be checks in there. You should be patient, you should be thoughtful, and maybe she can't convince her heart now, so to speak. And maybe it won't return, you don't know. But you want to give it a chance to grow and come back, and or to figure out what's going on. Why don't you feel a certain way? Other people aren't supposed to be our happiness generator. They're not supposed to tear into your soul or rip into who you are as a person and such. But when we go into relationships with expectations that are like, oh, you're always going to keep me happy, you're always going to say wonderful things to me, it's like, no, that's not how it works. That's not how life works. Just being with another person and sharing each other's burdens and load and knowing you have each other's back, that is 90% of what could be, if we allowed it to be, the happiness generator of our lives. Like, well, I have a person to go through life with. But, maybe that's Pollyannic or whatever. But to me, that is a big part of it, that the weeding out process before you move in with a person, before you marry a person, you go through all these constant checks and balances to whether or not this person meets the eye test, the ear test. Do you like their voice? Do you like what they say? Do you like what they value? Then you get in the relationship, and hopefully both of you adopt the same mindset that we now have a person to go through life with. That alone is 90% of the battle. The other 10% or whatever percentages you want to assign to it are just little nuances and annoying things that can be worked out, as long as you have healthy ways of talking about it. But when you begin to make the smaller things these big things in life, like, oh, now I have a person in my life, good, that's ground floor. Now I'm going to convert that person to my way of doing things, to my way of thinking. That's where your problems come in, rather than appreciating the other person and loving them. So in this song here, yeah, I kind of took off on one snippet of it that, yeah, she can't bring herself to leaving. And that's good, because she won't, if she decides to leave, she'll know she gave it a shot. So for her own self-protection, her own psychological preservation, if you will, down the line, less torment, for her, not having regrets, at least she'll know I gave it a shot. I really did. I spent a year or 2 or 5 or whatever, and it just was too bland. There had to be more to life. He was uninteresting after we tied the knot. We don't know what he did to make her feel this way. Maybe he did nothing, and maybe he did something. And that chemistry can be difficult to maintain. And that's why the selection process, when you decide to get married, that really, to me, you should go to the ends of the earth, if you will, to keep that commitment, not just for the sake of the commitment, but because you yourself will have sown into part of the problem in that relationship. But all that said, I love this voice. I like the instrumentation. I like the patience in this song, David. I think this came out 18 years ago. I think it was 2008, I remember seeing, when I grabbed it off of YouTube. And I don't know what happened with his career and where he went with it, but he sure could have carried part of the traditional country torch, because this song was that. It had the nice steel that came in back there, and just stayed in the pocket. It told the story, and this was very linear, very on point with what happens in relationships. And for her, she tried. I give her credit, She didn't just bail, but I feel bad for him. He sees it in her eyes. He feels it in her lack of touch, the sensitivity there. But you do go through relationship changes. It's how it works. Things do change. But it doesn't mean it's negative, You're not going to hold hands necessarily as much as you did in the beginning of a relationship. It kind of, things change. You both have to go to work. Maybe you have kids, whatever, and you don't have the energy. Your focus changes. Doesn't mean you don't love the other person as much. It just manifests differently. So, all right, I'm going to rate this one. And to me, this is a 9.2, David. It spoke truth. Absolute truth. May have been 3 chords, may have been more, may have been less, but certainly spoke the truth. So I enjoyed this a lot. I really liked his voice. So there you go. All right, guys, you can thank Mr. David Baumer for that. Have a great day. See you on another video. Try to be patient and keep rocking the country.
I guess she knows that getting over her would tear my world apart. So she keeps it to herself. She just can't break it to